Welcome back, movie lovers. Today we're diving deep into one of the greatest films ever made, Casablanca. Released in 1942 at the height of World War II, this masterpiece has captivated audiences for over 80 years. We'll break down the plot, explore the characters, discuss the themes, and uncover why this film remains timeless. So grab your favorite drink, and here's looking at you, kid. Let's begin. The historical context. Before we dive into the story, let's understand when and where this takes place. It's December 1941, and World War II is raging across Europe. France has fallen to Nazi Germany, and the unoccupied zone of French Morocco, particularly the city of Casablanca, has become a crucial stopping point for refugees desperate to escape to America. These refugees need two things: money and exit visas. Without both, they're trapped. Casablanca becomes a place of waiting, scheming, and hoping. People from all over Europe, Czech resistance fighters, Norwegian teachers, wealthy French citizens, all converge on this North African city, trying to secure passage to Lisbon and then to the safety of the United States. The city is controlled by Vichy French authorities who collaborate with the Nazis, while German officials maintain a threatening presence. Into this powder keg of desperation and intrigue, our story begins. Rick Café Américain. The film opens with a narrator explaining the refugee situation, showing us maps and desperate people. We're introduced to Rick's Café Américain, a nightclub and gambling den run by the mysterious American expatriate Rick Blaine, played brilliantly by Humphrey Bogart. Rick's Café is neutral territory, a place where French officials, Nazi officers, refugees, and criminals all mingle. Everyone comes to Rick's. But who is Rick? He's cynical, world-weary, and seemingly only interested in himself. His famous motto, "I stick my neck out for nobody." We see Rick's relationship with the corrupt but charming Captain Louis Renault of the French police, played by Claude Rains. They have a friendship built on mutual self-interest and witty banter. Renault tolerates Rick's Café because it's useful, and Rick tolerates Renault's corruption because it's necessary. The café employs Sam, a piano player and Rick's loyal friend, played by Dooley Wilson. Sam knows more about Rick's past than anyone, particularly about a woman named Ilsa. The MacGuffin. Two German couriers are murdered, and letters of transit are stolen, documents signed by a high-ranking official that allow the bearer to travel freely without question. These letters are the ultimate ticket out of Casablanca, worth a fortune and desperately sought by everyone. Ugarte, a small-time criminal played by Peter Lorre, reveals to Rick that he has the stolen letters and plans to sell them that evening. He asks Rick to hold them temporarily. Despite his neutrality, Rick agrees. When German Major Strasser and French officials arrive to arrest Ugarte, Rick watches coldly as the panicked criminal is dragged away. Rick keeps the letters hidden in Sam's piano, a detail that becomes crucial later. This is our MacGuffin, the plot device that drives the action. Those letters of transit are the golden ticket everyone wants, and only Rick knows where they are. A woman from Rick's past. That evening, a striking couple enters Rick's Café. Victor Laszlo, a famous Czech resistance leader, and his beautiful wife, Ilsa Lund. Laszlo is played by Paul Henreid, and Ilsa is the luminous Ingrid Bergman. The moment Rick sees Ilsa, his carefully constructed wall of cynicism cracks. Sam tries to protect Rick by refusing to play as time goes by, but Ilsa insists. When Rick hears the song, he storms over and stops dead when he sees Ilsa. The tension is unbearable. Clearly, these two share a painful history. Rick becomes cold and bitter, drinking heavily after the cafe closes. Through a beautifully shot flashback, we learn their story. Rick and Ilsa met in Paris before the German invasion. They fell deeply in love, spending idyllic days together, with as time goes by as their song. They planned to escape together when the Nazis marched in, but at the train station, Ilsa sent Sam with a note saying she could never see Rick again. No explanation, no revier. Rick was heartbroken and has been bitter ever since. This flashback explains everything about Rick's cynicism. He was once idealistic and in love, But Ilsa's betrayal turned him into the man we see now. Ilsa's secret. Ilsa comes to Rick's cafe alone and tries to explain. She reveals that when she met Rick in Paris, she believed her husband Victor Laszlo was dead, killed in a concentration camp. She fell in love with Rick freely, genuinely. But on the day they were supposed to leave Paris, she learned that Victor was alive and hiding in Paris, desperately ill. She had to choose: tell Rick the truth and abandon her husband, or leave Rick without explanation. She chose Victor, leaving Rick heartbroken. This changes everything. Ilsa wasn't unfaithful or cruel. She was trapped by impossible circumstances. She still loves Rick, but she's committed to Victor and his cause. Victor has escaped from concentration camps multiple times and continues fighting the Nazis. He represents the best of human courage and resistance. Rick is torn. His love for Ilsa is reignited, but he now knows she's married to a hero, a man fighting for freedom itself. Personal versus political. Victor Laszlo approaches Rick, knowing that Rick has the letters of transit. He needs them desperately, not just to save himself, but to continue his resistance work. If Laszlo stays in Casablanca, Major Strasser will ensure he's sent to a concentration camp, where he'll likely die. The resistance needs Laszlo alive. Rick refuses. He's not sticking his neck out for anybody, remember? But the pressure builds. Captain Renault, under orders from Major Strasser, closes Rick's cafe. The net is tightening. Ilsa comes to Rick's apartment, desperate. She even pulls a gun on him, demanding the letters. But she can't shoot him. She still loves him. In one of cinema's most powerful moments, Ilsa confesses, "I can't fight it anymore. I ran away from you once. I can't do it again." She's willing to abandon Victor and stay with Rick if that's what he wants. Rick now holds all the cards. He has the letters, Ilsa's love, and the power to make any choice he wants. What will he do? Rick's transformation. This is where Rick transforms from a cynical, self-interested saloon keeper into a hero. He realizes that his personal happiness pales in comparison to the larger fight against fascism. Victor Laszlo's work is more important than Rick's broken heart. Rick hatches a plan. He tells Ilsa that he'll use the letters to help her escape, but he doesn't reveal his full plan. He arranges with the corrupt Captain Renault to catch Laszlo at the airport, supposedly to arrest him. But Rick has something else in mind. At the airport, in the famous foggy scene, Rick gives the letters of transit to Victor and Ilsa, both of them. Ilsa is shocked. She thought Rick would keep one letter and go with her, leaving Victor behind. But Rick explains his decision in one of cinema's most famous speeches. He tells Ilsa, "Inside of us, we both know you belong with Victor. You're part of his work, the thing that keeps him going. If that plane leaves the ground and you're not with him, you'll regret it. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but soon and for the rest of your life." He continues, "We'll always have Paris. We didn't have it before. We'd lost it until you came to Casablanca. We got it back last night. I've got a job to do too. Where I'm going, you can't follow. What I've got to do, you can't be any part of." Standing up to evil. Major Strasser arrives at the airport, realizing that Rick is helping Laszlo escape. He tries to call the tower to stop the plane. Rick pulls a gun and stops him. Strasser reaches for his own weapon, and Rick shoots him dead, the ultimate act of sticking his neck out. The plane takes off with Victor and Ilsa aboard, heading to Lisbon and freedom. Rick has sacrificed his own happiness for a greater cause. Captain Renault arrives with his police. He looks at Strasser's body, then at Rick. In a wonderful character moment, Renault orders his men to round up the usual suspects, letting Rick off the hook. Renault drops a bottle of Vichy water, symbolic of Vichy France's collaboration with Nazis, into a trash can, showing his own moral awakening. Rick and Renault walk off together into the fog. Rick says, "Louis, I think this is the beginning of a beautiful friendship." They're both abandoning neutrality and cynicism, likely to join the Free French Resistance. Characters explained. The cast. Rick Blaine represents America itself. Initially isolationist and cynical, but ultimately brave and moral when pushed to action. Ilsa Lund is the emotional heart, torn between love and duty, representing the impossible choices war forces on people. Victor Laszlo embodies unwavering moral courage in the fight against fascism. He's almost impossibly noble, a symbol more than a fully fleshed character. Captain Renault shows that even the corrupt can find their conscience. His transformation mirrors Rick's. Major Strasser is evil incarnate, cold, efficient, representing Nazi oppression. Sam is loyalty personified, the friend who stands by Rick through everything. The legacy. Casablanca works on multiple levels. It's a romance, a thriller, a war film, and a character study. The dialogue crackles with wit and emotion. The performances are pitch perfect. The cinematography creates an atmosphere of mystery and danger. But most importantly, it speaks to universal human experiences: love, loss, moral choice, sacrifice, and redemption. These themes transcend time and place. Rick's journey from "I stick my neck out for nobody" to shooting a Nazi officer and joining the resistance shows that anyone can change. Anyone can be a hero when it matters most. And that's Casablanca, a film about love, sacrifice, and standing up for what's right no matter the cost. Made quickly, with an unfinished script by a studio that considered it a B-movie, it became one of the greatest films ever made. Here's looking at you, movie lovers. Thanks for watching, and remember, we'll always have classics like this. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments below.